Hello everyone! Hello and welcome back to Dead Upkalu Falls. And Grunty, we finally got a level 50 summoner after quite a grind. You always forget that first character, without those XP bonuses, is pretty slow. Although, you know, they've buffed dungeons and fates and all kinds of things. It wasn't too bad, I don't know what I'm complaining about. But I think my glam is pretty much on point, and we are absolutely going to chew Tristan up in a minute because Tristan is level 50 and we are at the moment, there you go, 109. It should be interesting. So this is going to be our victory lap against the scrub wannabe summoner, and we are getting Enkindle, commands pet to use its signature attack. I'd totally forgotten about this. And of course our summoner's doublet and belt, which looks pretty good, but I think our glam is really on point at the moment. Alright, Ymitra, let's see what you've got to tell me. Grunty, there has been a terrible incident. My poor colleague that thank Koinet find murdered. The reports are confused, but they all mention the same black-robed attacker. You know as well as I do that Tristan is behind this massacre. He has indeed grown bold, or desperate, to commit such a brazen act. We should set off to Mordona at once, and speak with any survivors. It may be that we can glean some idea of what that cold-hearted monster was after, or where he might strike next. We must stop him, Grunty. Seems like Ymitra took the news pretty well. Now, let's have a look. I'm pretty sure all the ones that we got our artifact pieces off are going to be the ones murdered, except for Rambros, of course, because that Tristan is a vindictive son of a bitch, isn't he? Jeez. Anyway, while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to take a second to pull up the last couple of episodes of whatever's been out and see if there are any new questions worth talking to. Alright, so this is on Arcanist Part 6 I'm looking at. Matt G asks, what are the differences between primals and summons other than the materials used in the process? Like primals, summons seem to have minds of their own to an extent, judging by Tataru's carbuncle running away, and require ether to exist. Assuming enough ether was available, could a superpowered carbuncle be summoned? Well, to answer the final question there, yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, a carbuncle, you're using the template provided by a particularly aspected crystal or whatever else is containing ether. I mean, you could, in theory, I suppose, make like a white auracite carbuncle. It probably wouldn't be like the best option you had, considering the awesome things you could do with that amount of ether. But yeah, fine. Yeah, definitely you could create a superpowered carbuncle. Absolutely. And I think that that's a lot of what Alfie Node's carbuncle research is about. You know, he's got his obsidian carbuncle, he's experimenting with different kinds of stones and materials and the properties that they have when produced as a carbuncle. Yes, I'm absolutely certain it was the same dark summoner whom Ymitra described to us. We were celebrating a recent find, the soul crystal of an Allegan summoner, when a man in black robes suddenly appeared and demanded that we surrendered the gem. Naturally, we objected to this arrogant imposition, but he simply sneered at our refusal. The next moment, the world exploded into flame. Through a haze of agony, I saw him snatch up the soul crystal from a smouldering body and stride off towards the singing shards. That bastard slaughtered my friends. There was no warning, no negotiation. If the gods grant you the chance to exact vengeance, then I pray you show him the same mercy he afforded us. Alright. Keep that in mind. Another soul crystal. Yes, it makes sense that he would sift his attention through a more easily obtainable gem. After all your progress, you would now make for a most formidable opponent. I must apologize for not sharing my theory earlier. I suspected that Tristan might desire your soul crystal you carry, but did not wish to draw any premature conclusions without sufficient evidence. I'm at a loss, however, to explain why he seeks to collect more of these Allegan relics. We shall just have to ask the villain himself after we corner him in the singing shards. Let us be on our way. Okay, let's do that. What else do we got here? Okay, so what are the differences between primals and summons other than the materials? So A primal is, first of all, the primal essence is formed by an ethereal coalescence, which requires a concerted effort of will by a group of people. So prayer or some other way of willing it into existence, such as, desperation. That's what creates the essence. Now, of course, a primal has a unique essence. The difference with an Eggy is that we're borrowing that already existing primal essence and our contact with it as a kind of blueprint, as I've talked about in previous episodes. So there's no prayer or will required. The work is already done for you, so to speak. And Carbuncle, obviously, you don't require any prayer for that either. Now, the interesting thing with Tataru's Carbuncle running away is that Carbuncles really don't have sort of minds of their own and kind of will to the same extent that an Eggy does. So it's kind of quite extraordinary, actually, that Tataru's Carbuncle ran away. And I sort of put that down to the fact that she... Actually, before we start this, I'm going to summon myself a... I'm going to have to kill this Haplati first. And then I'm going to summon myself a... I'm going to go with Titan. Lots of people seem to want to see me using Titan a little bit more, although I really do love that Contagion. Jeez. I'm going to save my Aetherflow stacks to make sure we got 3 as we're going into this fight. Yeah, so Tataru's Carbuncle, I kind of put that down to her as like a programming error, in that she didn't quite weave it properly. That she's sort of getting ahead of herself a little bit. I'm doing it again. All right, you know what? We're gonna... I'm gonna be lazy. I'm not gonna be micromanaging my pet while I'm trying to talk at the same time. So we will just go with Titan and we'll keep him on sick and that'll be fine. Now, I think my voice at the moment is sounding a bit kind of gross and shaky. I was on State of the Realm this morning. And if you watch that, it was episode, 62? I think I mentioned there, I've been getting sick. You know that feeling you get, you wake up in the morning and your glands are all swollen up, you're just like, shit, here we go. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm starting to lose my voice. And that's actually why I'm recording this, because I need to get some recording done before I lose it completely. I have brought you the soul crystals as promised. Now this is going to be interesting. So there were 2 of them. Because I tend to think of Ascians as having quite a similar voice to what I'm... 3 of them, to what I'm giving Tristan there. Now, Ascian of the 12th Chalice. Yes, these appear to be authentic Allagan artifacts. Look at my gross fingernails. Very well, I shall honor our bargain. From within these gems I will draw forth the memories of the ancient summoners, and the slumbering essence of an elder primal. All the attendant knowledge and power shall be yours. Now, I'll explain that in a minute. Well, gooey, goo. Oh, he's got the same book as me, actually. Oh, God, the pain. And I'm fine. Yeah, so my voices aren't sounding on point. It's because I've barely got one myself at the moment. The bumbling summoner and his incompetent lackey make an appearance at last. You think to capture me? Fools, I have orchestrated your every move. You have grown much in the art, it is true, but through the wisdom of the paragons, I now command the power of an elder primal. You made a deal with the paragons? And you call us fools? The Athians will never relinquish their hold on you. A small price to pay. If you could but feel the strength that fills my entire being, it is indescribable. I will use this power to annihilate the beast tribes and put an end to their insufferable rituals once and for all. The primals will rise no more. Hear me, Demon King of Devouring Flame. Feed on my ever-burning anguish and be reborn. The culmination of my sacred duty is at hand. But first, there is one more soul crystal that must be mine. I will tolerate its wasted potential no longer. Oh dear. Alright, Belias Eggy, one of the great conundrums of Eorzean lore, which myself and presumably several other people have been trying to work out. Don't just fucking sit there, Titan, Jesus. Alright, behold the might of Belias. I have never before thanked that power, all the more reason to defeat this madman. Oh, okay, and... No, we got it? I just had a bit of lag there. Alright, don't mind that, no biggie. Ooh. Let's give Titan eye for eye. Let's give you a virus. And refresh our dots. I'm really not paying attention. Oh. Oh, that's right. Tristan devours Belias Eggy's life force. None can withstand this tenebrous ether. Oh shit, he got Starstorm. Oh man. I didn't think it possible. He'd absorbed the Eggy's power. The power? I am a god amongst men. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see about that. Onyx Claw just got absolutely wrecked. Alright. Armageddon. Once again, Ymetra, don't bother moving out of that. You'll be fine, I'm sure. Don't even worry about it. Now let's heal up Titan. Like I said, we're like so overpowered for that fight. But there it is. There's Tristan. There's our victory lap. Sit down, mate. Let me tell you a story. By all the memories of summoners past, I should have been unstoppable. I will sear the disease of beastmen from the face of the land. Deprived of worshippers, the primal that tempered my weak-willed sibling will wither into oblivion. Though, I see my order's records were accurate. Though it was buried deep in the archives, I but recently uncovered a report that described how you slew your own brother. He was corrupted during your ill-fated encounter with Ifrit, was he not? I imagine your superiors in the Immortal Flame thought it a mercy to conceal that inglorious detail. Once the soft-headed fool had been tempered, there was no saving him, and thus I took it upon myself to expunge the stain of embarrassment. But my work is left undone. The primal, no, all primals must suffer for that insult. After I killed my brother, I found myself liberated, my vision clear. No deed was too vile if it promised to add to the power I required. How can you not see? I am the sword of vengeance, and I shall wrest that soul crystal from your blasted corpse. Uh-oh. This isn't gonna end well for you, buddy. Ooh. 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 Black. Well, Tristan Night Flicker. Night Flicker. Oh my, oh dear. Alright, Ymetra. I wonder which struck the first blow to his sanity, the despair at his brother's tempering, or the guilt from slaying his own kin. It is ironic to think that discounting the means, our purposes were fundamentally one and the same. The summoner employed the savagery of the primals to conquer the primals themselves. Had Tristan approached us as an ally, we might have found ourselves aiding his cause. Alas, he chose to walk the path of bloodshed. Each vicious act must have pushed the man deeper into madness until eventually the lust for power and vengeance was all that drove him. The might of the primals carries with it a burden of responsibility and a measure of danger. I hope never to see you corrupted by the potent energies you wield, Spider-Man. It is time we return to Apkallu Falls. The Dark Summoner is no more. Alright, so let's talk about Belias for a minute while we're heading back to, what am I doing? While we're heading back to Dead Up Color Falls. Now, soul crystals, the way they work is not dissimilar to ethereal gear. So when we pick up ethereal gear from dungeons, the reason it's ethereal is because it has absorbed the ether of whoever was wearing them when we died. When they died, I should say. And that's why they're more powerful than regular gear. Now, what was going on with those soul crystals is that they had been exposed to the essence of an ancient primal, which their wielders had combated at some point, and as a result, that blueprint was somehow extractable. And enough of that image was sort of clear between three of them that the Ascian could sort of piece it together and transfer that, like I say, that blueprint. I really think blueprint or mold is the best sort of metaphor you can use for Tristan to have access to. Now, the reason it looks like a fruit is a more difficult one. I'm assuming that because there are no more worshippers of Belias around, and that all we've got is that, like I say, that blueprint, is that it's not complete enough to have a clear idea of his image, and therefore Tristan is imposing his own image, which is the closest thing he can grasp at, which is Ifrit being a primal of the same elemental leaning. That's my theory anyway. I've done a video on Belias and what I think of him and how I think he might end up showing up in Final Fantasy XIV eventually, so feel free to check that out anyway. Oh, how I would love to declare our trouble at an end. But I fear the Ascian with whom Tristan made his bargain is yet afoot. These so-called paragons prey upon men and women who are at their weakest, speaking honeyed words to lead them down the road of destruction. In this manner, they seek to plunge the realm of Eorthia into chaos. It is reassuring to know that heroes like you exist to foil their never-ending schemes and foul plots. An outright war against the Ascians looms closer, day by day. Thus, would I have your armor yourself with this last piece of the Evoker's attire. I don't know where you found that for him, but I'll take it. Did we just... No, we couldn't have stripped that off Tristan. It was discovered at the same dig site where Tristan seized the soul crystal. Alright, there we go. And the St. Coinax find researchers, grateful for your actions in bringing the murderous summoner to justice, insisted that you complete your set. One can never be over-prepared when heading into battle against the Paragon. Worked proudly, Grunty. Speaking of preparations, were you aware of the deeper layer of power hidden within your avatars? A technique exists that allows you to tap into the full potential of your Eki. You must have seen Tristan employing this ability. During the final battle with the Dark Summoner, you would have heard a whisper emanating from the Soul Crystal. Still your minds now, Grunty, and you will hear the voices of the ancient summoners instructing you in their greatest achievements. The true power of the Eki will be yours. Yay! Alright, there we go. As my voice wears ever thinner. Now, a couple of people have also been asking, because obviously we've had to do the cross-class abilities, which I haven't done yet. Obviously, I've got Thaumaturge to 50, but I need to do a little bit of Conjurer and a little bit of Archer as well. So now that we got Summoner at 50, I'm going to smash out the Scholar quests, probably in one sitting, once I've got a little bit more of a voice. And then I'm going to go through and do all those class quest stories for which I need the cross-class actions in order before we go on to do the post-50s Summoner, because obviously Raging Strikes in particular is something that I really need heading into those post-50 dungeons. Otherwise I'm going to be a bit of a dead weight for people. So that's what we're going to do. Apologies again that my voice hasn't been particularly on point today, but I'm doing the best I can. And that's level 50 Summoner. So if you got any questions about the Summoner quest line, I haven't released any of them as of when I'm recording this, But once we start on the post 50 summoner quests, all of the pre-50 ones should be up on YouTube. So any questions that you ask through those, I will be covering from the next video onwards. So look forward to that. I certainly do. I'm really excited to play some more Summoner. And until then, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Cheerio.